scenario. Like if you see, like the comment, the teacher prepares herself to teach the lesson in class. She reads it beforehand and understands it herself before she comes to class. In class, she reads it out and asks prepared questions to see that the students have understood the story. She pronounces the word dragon very differently, and her students may not understand the word if they hear it elsewhere pronounced the right way. Outside the class, the teacher apologizes to us in Marathi and she cannot speak English except for the principal. Nobody else in the school can speak English at all. As soon as the class is over, a student is sent out to buy milk for the coffee to be served to us. So this is some live examples which have been reported from some spectators that have been recorded here. Okay, the same school sitting in the principal's enclosure, we hear a teacher singing an English song and making the children repeat after him in a very melodious voice. On the other side of the partition, the song is about bananas, apples, and oranges. The song makes us marvel at the teacher's motivational strategies. Like they are surprised with the motivational strategy that the teacher carries on, the sophisticated way she teaches, and we expect a wonderful English class to follow after the song is over. The teacher asks them to name the fruits in a bowl on the table. We are happy to see him using Realia. The conversation goes like this. What is this? Banana. What is this? Apple. What is this? Grape. And what is this? Orange. So the pronunciation, the letters which are arranged. Okay, so we find that this teacher too, in spite of his integrity and initial promise, does not use articles like a banana, an orange. Okay, so she doesn't specify whether the noun is countable or not countable, and she is simply naming the fruits. Okay, so and his speaking repertoire, the repetition, like the remarkable strategy the teacher has is very limited here. More field visits to about 14 primary schools and interactions with teachers and principals in the area tell us that these teachers have undergone mass training in English teaching methodology. The textbooks have been specially prepared to promote oral fluency, but the teacher's classroom transactions in English are achieved through memorization of textbook instructions. That is what we call rote memory. Okay, so they follow the techniques that they have received in training programs without unpacking the meaning of the instructions in which they are embedded. For example, in another class, children were made to repeat the actions of pushing and pulling the bags in front of each of them. When the teacher said push the bag, they pushed it forward, and when the teacher said pull the bag, they pulled it backwards. But a little later, when a child was asked to push the door in front of him to get in, he did not understand. Words and phrases assume a routinized meaning within the classroom, but do not make sense to either teachers or learners as authentic codes. Other curious expressions are role play. Okay, so odd man out sanga. Point out the odd number in a line or similar looking symbols, letters, and words. So these are some of the cameos like which we find practically when they are applied if the teacher has no knowledge about that particular word or phrase. For example, in our early childhood, like we were taught many songs like Ringa Ringa Roses, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. We did not know what did it mean until and unless we come across literature and understood twinkle, it is like blinking of the star, right? We don't know. How I wonder what you are, like we sang, but that point of time we did not know. Everybody was singing, we were singing. Everybody was making that action, we were making the action. It is just a rote memorization, but the real concept of what does that particular thing mean, like we have one skeptic or critic in Telugu. I don't recollect his name. If any one of you remember, just Padaganti, some name is there. Like he says that ఏమిటండి ఇవి చిన్నప్పటి నుండి ఇవి నేర్పిస్తుంటారు పిల్లలకి, that ringa ringa roses, actually it was taught during some outbreak, pandemic outbreak in England, it seems. So that point of time, the children, all they got some kind of skin disease, due to which most of the children have died. So at that point of time, that song was there, but we did not know, like in convent bred Indian convent bred students, like they did not know about this. They were taught by their Anglo-Indian teachers about the poetry, about the rhymes. They learned there. We were singing that, and until unless he revealed that it was that specifically on that particular situation where the pandemic broke in. So because of that, they started singing that song. But what happened to your Telugu child? Can't you teach some rhymes in Telugu rather than going for convent poems like that? He made some critical remarks. So it was then I realized, like, okay, this is the song which we were also taught when we were in kindergarten, and we used to sing so joyfully. So here, like how the person perceives the things, that is more important. Like if we are more prone to debate on our religion, our language, in that context we learn nothing. A person should have a comprehensive view. That's what sir was also telling in the 7th paper, like Rabindranath Tagore's that poem, lead me into the world where there are no deviations, there are no boundaries. So we should have that comprehensive look, rather than, of course, at the same time we should not lose our identity and our nativity. Managing all this is what one makes one triumphant or excelling in their particular career. And if you see one more cameos, like another rural girls school of class 4. Here the principal is a teacher. Principal herself is a teacher, and here principal indicates neither male gender or female gender. Like it's only principal, that's a designation. And he asked 2 children to come up, take on the roles of Mary and her mother, and recite a dialogue or a poem. So mother calls, lazy Mary, will you get up? Lazy Mary, will you get up today? And the Mary's response, no mother, I won't get up today. The children do this enthusiastically with actions. The principal is very happy with this display. So it is like action oriented songs here, like poem she was teaching. But here, what was a comment of the spectators was that the teacher was very happy and the children were able to recite the poem with actions. The teacher left the class, and when we asked the children when they got up every morning, they couldn't answer, because here the Mary can be replaced. That Mary can be a Jyotsna or a Lakshmi or a Srinu or a Ramu, someone it could be. They cannot place themselves in that particular subject. They only learnt it, memorized, that's it. So knowing the meaning is also important, how flexibly we can change. And English is such a language, it has got lot of flexibility. Like we see, we have Lipi for Hindi and Telugu. Like what we write, we read only that. But whereas English is a funny man, you can just use it in a diplomatic way or political way, anyway. Like it depends on the emotion of the speaker, how he is using. So here the teacher left the class, and when we asked the children when they got up every morning, they couldn't answer. They did not understand what get up meant. We spent a lot of time getting them to understand what the phrase meant actually, getting up, the waking up from the sleep. When do you wake up? So these kind of stimulating questions have to be posed to the students when we are teaching the language, okay, particularly. And like that, some more examples have been given here. We are switching on to a high school, like junior college in Mumbai. That is on page number 14, where a junior college in Mumbai, which included class 11. The teacher explains active and passive voice in all the tenses here. She puts this up on the board. She explains the changes in the form of the verbs and position of the subject. For example, the man sees a picture. Here the man is a subject, sees is a verb, a picture is the object. Okay. So what is the difference between active voice and passive voice? Whereas active voice, the subject, verb, and object. In passive voice, the object becomes a subject, verb changes its form into passive form, and the subject comes to the object place. Okay. So here a picture is seen. Sees is simple present, simple verb. Okay, in present tense. So is seen, passive form. Okay. And similarly, if we see the second sentence, the man saw a picture. Saw is a past tense of the verb, and passive form was seen. The man saw a picture. A picture was seen by the man. So in the third kind of kind of sentence, if you see, the man will see a picture. Simple future it is, right? In active voice. Will see, will be seen. So that will be the future of passive voice. So this is continued for all the continuous and perfect aspects as well. So the grammar lesson is very successful with the students. They feel they will now have no problems with the verb forms. However, in the answers to the questions in the examination, they write sentences like, this line is occurred in so and so situation. But when we see if that particularly this particular verb is not being transformed in proper tense, then the sentence loses its meaning. Okay. So similarly, class 8 of an urban public school, here we see it is a writing class. The teacher puts up the topic on the board, the role of sports in education. So the students are asked to give points. The teacher puts them up on the board. She discusses the points with the students. She tells them about how the essay should have at least 4 paragraphs with an introduction and conclusion. The students are then asked to write the essay individually. The students begin writing silently. At the end of the class, the teacher takes the writing notebooks for correction. She corrects the spelling and grammar mistakes and returns them to the students in the next class with rating. So here what comment the spectators have given to the teacher. The teacher helps the students generate the content for what they are going to write. So simply write an essay, if we say, the students will not be able to write. First we need to give the points like how they need to write. For compulsory format is very much important. Like we need to give the format for writing an essay, that the essay should have a title, the introductory paragraph, okay, then elucidating on the introductory paragraph, adding your own ideas, making use of some idioms, some proverbs, okay, some words of specific interest, okay, and vocabulary too, and keeping the coherence of the language, maintaining the proper sentence structures, using noun forms, adjective forms. So these are all important. These instructions, without giving any of these instructions, if we ask the students to write an essay, I think they would not, all of them would not be able to do, unless the 1 and 2 students who are very clever in the class, like those who aspire, those who have good grammatical skills, language skills, only they will be able to do. But what is the success of a teacher or a mentor? A teacher or a mentor is successful only when he would be able to reachable to all the sects of the students, all kind of sectors, whoever, like it is um, okay. So like how to teach a language skill and the content, these are very much important. If we see, am I making a yes, could you please respond, any one of you? Are you there? Like, am I audible?
Ma'am, your voice was breaking just a moment ago.
Yes. Yeah, like my Wi-Fi is disconnected. There is no power. So I'm running on mobile data. So this
Now it's
covers,
okay. Yes.
yeah, this covers the theoretical basis for classroom practices and English classrooms and the subject classroom, the role of English teacher, actually what the role of English teacher is, that is more important. So as most of us have taken our masters, like we want to complete our masters in language teaching, so what main skill we should have, like teaching language as content based, okay, and also teaching language as a structure, teaching language grammar through content and through communication, and reconnecting it to historical perspectives of language teaching. These are very much important and key factors which play the vital role in language teaching. Okay, so teaching the structures is very much important, and particularly grammar. We see most of the learned people also, when they are being interviewed, we find that they commit very primary mistakes of using do and does, don't, doesn't. Okay, he don't know about that particular matter. They say local there it should be like doesn't, it should be used, right? So these are some grammatical mistakes which creep in while the people commit the mistakes in communicating as well as written English. So these have to be taken care, that as it is said that if we learn from the basic level properly, obviously there is no scope of committing any mistakes. Like making as many sentences as you can, combining different elements, like from the table, if we see on page number 27. So here very clearly it is mentioned, like the subject, verb, and the object. Okay, subject and predicate are the two parts of the sentence, right? So when this subject is spoken into the similar language structures, like last year, like last session, we have seen the growth and structure of English, like how we were putting those sentences into different sects, like the subject part, the verb part, and the object part. Under the object, preposition comes, and then the direct object and indirect object of the sentence. So these are very much important to be taught for the students, as well as the teacher should. I feel that if the teacher could conduct it as an activity through flashcards or some games, obviously the children will retain it for longer time. So that's what makes us the best mentor. Like what we are teaching, it should be basically laying the grounds for the language, the usage of the students, the language which the students are using. Like a teacher is known by her students, like the way they speak, the way they put on the things. So obviously they show that they have been taught the basics properly, and that is what makes the language more appreciable, adaptable, and like usage also. So when it comes to language, like particularly LSRW skills are very much important, as we have been taught in our period also, like Bachelor of Education, where learning, speaking, writing, okay, listening, right? So listening skills are also very much important. LSRW, where we see use that a student should be able to read independently, understand, speak, and write. um, the language is very much important. Like this can be taught with different methods, like audio lingual method. We can have an audio played, and we can interact with the students, asking them questions based on that, or the structure or oral situation method, functional method, or communicative approach. How that communicative approach, like different books we need to refer when we are teaching the language learning, like our learners should be exposed to different kinds of learning abilities. And I think the most successful method is activity method, because that I have been implementing, and I really see that the students enjoy. When the student enjoys learning, obviously they put themselves into the situation and they try creatively, they think. So it is involving the student is more important. And the place of English in the school curriculum, like as someone rightly pointed recently, like in the last class, that we had three languages: first language, second language, and English was the third language actually in 90s. But now all like the importance of English has not derailed, but day to day it is improving. Many new words are added to the Oxford Dictionary. We should keep on checking, like what are the new words added, because English is a language, and it is a living language, we can say, because it goes on, new words are being added, but the structures do not change, the basics do not change, still the basics are same. And when we are teaching English as a bilingual, like using the second language of the student or the native language of the student in order to elucidate the points clearly or driving the point home, it really helps on the role of English teacher we are seeing. And here the language class, the role of English language teacher, she should have the proficiency and the activity checking also, and sample questions, how the question papers are set, and what plans do they devise in order to carry out their particular strategies of language teaching. Like subject teachers in most of the schools are considered more important than language teachers, both by the students as well as the school administration. In such schools which give equal importance to language, students seem to achieve all-round development. Okay, that's what I told in the beginning itself, that a student might be 100% good at making a plan and devising a plan, but if he could not put that plan forth in proper language and the person couldn't understand, so then it is of no use, it is all futile. So language also plays a major role in conveying our thoughts and ideas. So so now presently, the present generation, where we see most of the schools or colleges or educational institutions in private sector, they give a lot of importance to the optional subjects rather than the language. Like hardly in a month they have 4 classes like that. I have many friends who are teaching languages, like we have French teaching teachers, Spanish teaching teachers, and English teachers. Like those who are teaching at +2 level, they have only hardly 2 classes per a month, and they the students have only 2 classes per a month. So how will they excel in language if that is a thing? And as it is digital era, students don't tend to spend a lot of time on reading the books or novels as we did. Say they want all the easy way out. Like I see my own children at home, they say, mama, what boring thing, you gift a book on birthday, such a nonsense this. I say, why don't you read? They say, what is there to read? You can on the audio, you don't know, you have to upgrade yourself. Why don't you download Kindle? You can just listen to it. Why to read? Spend time on seeing that. That gives a poor vision. But they love to spend hours together watching the videos or that nonsense stuff which are whichever is there on online, that they spend time, but they don't want to spend time on reading. So we have to think how we can promote the language skills, rather than making the child addictive towards this digitalization, looking into the looking onto the screens all the time, like they have the poor vision and all that. So these kind of things, some innovative or modern solutions we need to find for it. With that, I end with block one. If anything has to be added, I like Ramu sir to pitch it, or anyone else who is there. If they would like to take the lead, I would like to give the platform to them. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Oh, wonderful conclusion, ma'am.
Nice presentation, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Like I wasn't prepared, or else I would have shown some slides also. Here we don't have that permission to show some slides. Like only the host can show, or else I would have shown some slides related to this one.
We did not expect, right, ma'am? Actually, the facilitator wouldn't turn up. Otherwise, we would have prepared that slides and we would have presented even for everybody's benefits.
Yes, sir. Really. Like hereafter, now as we have started, no, we'll be little prepared for one block hereafter. If the facilitator doesn't turn up, we will take up the lead. No issue. Like we can help one another. Last time also we did the same thing for paper, like first year one. And
Yes, yes,
thankfully, some moderators were really good. Like we had Divya ma'am, American literature ma'am also, right? So they were really good. They were very helpful.
yes, ma'am. On today, I think Tirupati sir started really well. I was thinking that it
Yes.
would go pretty smooth and really, really good.
Yes, that was a
Whereas
good beginning.
uh, he just took the whole thing by storm, like finishing 2 blocks, bringing everything, making everything so easy. He covered every topic in the whole block. I was actually, when he was explaining, I was just turning the pages and looking at everything. He made it so simple to everybody, those who did
Yes,
not attend the regular classes.
yes, yes. That is
I,
a
I, I
magic of
was I was expecting the same
computers.
thing continue to the next classes, but it didn't happen.
Actually, this 8, 9, as sir said, no, 9 is related to again the sixth paper. So that is okay. Indian literature, like we have been exposed to some of the Indian authors and writers, so that we can manage. And this 10th paper also, those who are into language teaching, they can really do it well. Where we require help is paper 7, 6, and 8 also. So this we need to work out on.
Somebody else, please take up another unit, unit 2, please.
Yeah,
We'll
it is
have one
about
more unit.
motivation, attitude, aptitude, and memory, language learning principles, language skills and learning strategies, target levels, and learners' backgrounds. So these 4 can be covered. If anyone, please take the initiative. Anything has to be added, myself or Ramu sir will pitch in wherever it is required. It's only we, all of us, no issue. Like you can speak.
Yes, nobody is going to judge nobody. We're all students. When nobody turns up to help us out, let us help ourselves out. Please, somebody take the initiative and finish that unit 2. We'll have continue from unit 3 in the next class.
Yes, sir, that would be better because this is the only day where we get off from our routine works. So
Yes,
next class
ma'am.
is again on 19th we have, I guess. So we'll come little prepared before day. Like in our group, we will share that what we are going to cover. Like if you're covering one block, I will be prepared in the other block. Like that we will manage if at all the facilitators are not present.
Yes, ma'am. That would be a good idea.
Thank you for the cooperation, sir.
Ma'am, thank you. You were the one who took that initiation. Otherwise, I wouldn't have continued. I
Yes,
was
sir.
just lying down and listening to the teachers and another sir's conversation with his daughter, and I was enjoying. And suddenly you came up with this idea,
Yeah.
so that it became a little benefit. We covered a couple of units in the previous
Yes. Yes.
paper, and now at least one unit covered.
Yes. We'll have little idea to what to write under assignment section now.
Yes, yes,
Out of 4, at least one question we could answer presently. So as we
true,
cover
true.
the forthcoming other blocks also, like we'll be able to complete assignments as well as prepare ourselves for the exam also.
Yes, I haven't opened these textbooks all these days.
I
Only
too.
today I opened.
I too,
I
because the books
received
are
actually more than 2 months, 3 months ago.
yes, they were lying like that with the dust over them.
True. Hoping that I would have some classes and I would just dust them off and started reading. But
Yeah.
nobody. Yes. Okay, ma'am.
Right,
Anybody
sir.
else, please take up the next one. Um, we'll continue the second unit.